All right, y'all. TEKS test on Thursday. What is that? 12/13. Okay, December 13th. Number 1 says graph the system of inequalities. So let's start with the ones that are already set equal to y. So this one we'll do in purple. Guys, if you don't know how to graph with a linear equation, type it in your calculator. Okay, you'll come here, you'll do x plus 1, second graph. We're going to plot these points. Okay, so we see that it's at -4, -3. And then from there it's going up 1 over 1. So it also goes down 1, left 1. Now, solid line or dashed line. So the big things I need you to remember is that less than or equal to, greater than or equal to have a solid line. And then less than or greater than.
Jackie Constantine, please go to the teaching theater. Jackie Constantine, please go to the teaching theater.
Sorry, have a dashed line. Okay, and then when y is less, it's below, and when y is greater, it's above. Okay, so this is going to be a solid line because it has the equal to underneath. Okay, so I'm going to shade below because y is less than or equal to x plus 1. And you could always test a point. Like 0, 0, 0 is less than or equal to 0 plus 1. 0 is less than 1, so this is true. Okay, let's do red for this one. Okay, so now I have x minus 4. So again, I can come here and do x minus 4, second graph. So it tells me -4, -8, -4, -8. Okay. And then -3, -7, and it's going up 1 over 1 each time. Now this time it's going to be a dashed line because it's just less than. So dashed line, and y is less, so it's below. Okay, last but not least, I'll do this one in blue. Now I want you to realize that first I have to turn this equation into a y equals. I need to solve it for y first. So I have 2x plus 3y is less than 27. I'm going to do minus 2x minus 2x. This goes away. I'm left with 3y is greater than 27 minus 2x. I need to get rid of that 3 by dividing. This cancels. I'm left with y is less. This gives me 9. And I want to leave this as a fraction because it's my slope. Okay, so again, you could type this in your calculator and it would give you your points. But I know that this is my starting point because it doesn't have an x. And that this is my slope. So I'm going down 1, 2, right 1, 2, 3. Down 1, 2, right 1, 2, 3. Down 1, 2, right 1, 2, 3. I also know it's going to be a dashed line. And it's less, so it's going to be below. So I want you to realize that the answer to this system, remember, system is when you look at more than one equation at a time. The answers to this system belong, sorry, I'm looking for my pen, belong down here where all 3 colors are shaded. Okay? Dashed lines do not hold solutions, so no solutions, while solid lines do hold solutions. Okay, so 1, 1 is not a solution to all 3. Okay, 0, 0 is not a solution to all 3. 1, -1 is not a solution to all 3. It's a solution to the purple and the blue, but not to the red. And to be a solution to the inequality of systems, a system of inequalities, it has to satisfy all 3 equations. Okay? 2, negative 2 is on the red line, which is dashed, so there's no solutions. Negative 1, negative 1, negative 3 is not a solution to all three. 1, 3 is a solution to the blue, but not the other two. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is on the blue dashed line, which doesn't hold solutions. 3, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a solution to all three. Blue is shaded here, purple is shaded here, and red is shaded here. Okay? And then I have negative 1, 2, not a solution to all three. 0, negative 3, it's not a solution to all three. 4, 1, not a solution to all three. Now this one's not actually on the map. 2, negative 3, which will be way down here. Okay? Will be a solution to all three because this is shaded below, this is shaded below, and that's shaded below, which is all in this direction, so this one will be a solution as well. Okay. Number 2 says movies in the United States make billions of dollars. Okay. So it says years since 1995 and revenue in billions. Okay. Find the linear regression. Guys, anytime it says linear regression, you're going to use stat. Okay, so we're going to do stat enter. Okay, so I'm going to go stat enter. That's how I got here, so I'll show you one more time. So stat enter. Okay, and I'm going to use the top numbers as my L1, which is my X. And this is going to be my L2, which is my Y. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5.29, 6.51, 7.30, 8.13, 9.35, 8.93, 9.63, 10.65, 10.20, 9.28. Okay, always double check. 9.28, 10.2, 10.65, 9.63, 8.93. Okay, the reason I say to double check is because if you typed even one thing wrong, your equation will not match mine. So then we're going to do stat right because we're calculating our linear regression. Okay, so lin reg stands for linear regression. There's enter, 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 enter. And there's my equation. Now it says round to the nearest hundredth place, which means these look ugly. So we have y equals a, which is 0.50. Remember, hundredth place is 2 numbers after the decimal. Okay. After a comes x, sorry, plus b, which is 6.28. And the reason I say 8 is because that's a 5, which makes the 7 go up. Okay, so here I'm going to type it in, 0.50x plus 6.28. And I'm going to estimate. It says use your regression equation, this is my regression equation, to predict the movie revenue in the year 2010. Okay, so in the year 2010, second graph. So I want you to realize 1995 is here, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 here, so that's 15 years after 1995. It's going to be 13.78. And remember, that's billions. Okay. Right, so that's that one. Okay, so I'm going to start writing the timestamp on the side here, so that way this is easier. So right here, we're starting number 3 at 9:27. I don't write it, yeah. Okay, so Jameson is vacationing in the mountains and wants to rent a bicycle. He found 2 rental companies. Bob's Bikes charge a non-refundable deposit of $10 and $7.50 per hour. So this is my equation. So I'm going to write y equals, I'm paying $10 plus $7.50 per hour. So that's telling me that's my slope. Okay, and then we have Cammie's Rentals, which charges a $15 bike fee, or $15 bike fee, plus $5 per hour, which tells me that's my slope. Okay, at how many hours will both companies be the same? So let's type those two equations in. So I'm going to do 10 plus 7.50x, and then y2 I'm going to do 15 plus 5x. Second graph, so I'm going to realize that we put Bob's bikes in y1, Cammie's bikes in y2, or Cammie's rentals. How many hours is the fee the same? So we're looking here, let's start at 0. We're looking for where they match. So if you notice, they both are $25 after 2 hours. So at how many hours? We would say 2 hours. Okay. If Jameson wants to rent the bike for about 5 hours, which company would give the better deal? So let's look. 5 hours. Here so you can see. 5 hours. Y1 is $47.50 and Y2 is $40. So Y2 is Cammie's Rentals for $40. Cammie's Rentals for $40. Okay. So that is number 3. Number 4. Okay. At the arcade, Sammy won 2 blue tickets, 1 yellow ticket, and 3 red tickets for 1,500 points total. Okay, so Sammy won. So I'm going to write the system of equations. 2 blue tickets plus 1 yellow ticket plus 3 red tickets and got 1,500 total points. Okay. Jamie won 1 blue ticket plus 2 yellow tickets plus 2 red tickets for 1,225 points. And Yvonne won 2 blue tickets plus 3 yellow tickets plus 1 red ticket for 1,200. Okay. Now it says let B be the point for blue tickets, which is what I did, Y for yellow, R for red, and write the matrix which represents this equation. So we're going to squeeze that matrix in right here. Now I want you to remember to label blue, yellow, red. Remember that line is because it's almost like where we would put our equal sign. So 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3 equals 1,500. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2 is 1,225. And 2, 3, 1 is 1,200. And all it wanted me to do is build my matrix, so that is my answer. Okay, number 5 is in our calculator. Okay, so remember, I'm going to put my whole calculator on the screen. Second matrix. See how it says matrix up there in blue? Okay, we have to edit because we actually have to put this in there. This is 1, 2, 3 tall, 1, 2, 3, 4 wide. Ooh, sorry. And here's my matrix. So 1, 2, 3, 9, 0, 1, 0, negative 1, 0, 0, 1, 3. Okay, so double check. 9, negative 1, 3, 3, 0, 1, 2, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. Okay, so we can go to the home screen by second quit. We're going to go back to second matrix, go over to math, and go to RREF. So remember, we're looking for RREF. Okay? And we're going to go back to second matrix and put in that matrix we just built. There's my answers. X, Y, Z. Remember, alphabetical order. So 2 is my X, negative 1, and 3 is my Z. So again, same thing. I'm going to clear my calculator. 2 plus 7, 1, 2. I'm going to go second matrix. Go over to edit. This is a 3 by 4. So negative 2, 1, 3, 20. Negative 3, 2, 1, 21. 3, negative 2, 3, negative 9. 20, 21, negative 9, 3, 1, 3. Okay, so I put it in right. Go back to my home screen. Second matrix, math. RREF, second matrix, plug it in. There's my answers. So -4, 3, 3. Okay. So number 7 at 1524. Okay, Aaron has a combination of 14 nickels, dimes, and quarters in his pocket. There are twice as many quarters as nickels, and the total value of all coins is 215. Let N be the number of nickels, D for dimes, Q for quarters. Use the system below. Determine how many nickels. Guys, we can make this into a matrix and have the calculator do it for us. These are already set up correctly with nickel, dime, quarter, nickel, dime, quarter. We need this to move the quarters to the other side of the equal sign. So minus Q, which gives me 2N minus Q equals 0. And now I'm going to build my matrix. Okay, so I'm going to do nickels, dimes, quarters, total. So 2 nickels, there's no D, so it's 0 dimes, -1 quarters equals 0. 1 nickel, 1 dime, 1 quarter is 14. 0.05 nickel, 0.10 dime, 0.25 quarter is 215. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my calculator, clear it out, second matrix. Again, this is a 3 by 4. So 2, 0, -1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 14, 0.05, 0.10, 0.25, 2.15. Double check it. Okay, I'm going to go back to my home screen, second matrix math, RREF, plug in my matrix that I just built, and my answer. So remember, nickels, dimes, quarters, nickels, dimes, quarters, 3, 5, 6. 3, 5, 6. So it says, determine how many nickels Aaron had. He had 3 nickels. Okay. Okay. Graph this on the graph below and then answer the questions. So we're going to come here. We're going to type that in. I want you to remember it's 3, and then to do the absolute values, it's math, right, enter. So x minus 4 minus 2, second graph. Now remember that this is just kind of like quadratics, so you can still find your rainbow. So we're going to plot these points. So 1, 7, 2, 4, 3, 1, 4, -2, 5, 1. So here is my absolute value. Okay, it says what is the value of G2? Well, I want you to realize G of X, so this is telling me X equals 2. So where X is 2 is here. What's the height? It's 4. Now it says what is the domain in set notation, so that's with brackets and parentheses. So this is never going to stop getting wider, so it's -infinity to infinity. This is what is the range in set notation, so the lowest is -2, and it goes up forever, so -2 to infinity, but this is with a bracket because it actually touches -2. Okay, number 9. The table shows values from an absolute value. Oops, sorry, let me show you everything. The table shows some values from an absolute value function, y equals h of x. This is my h of x. It says, what is the value of h of 2? Remember, this is when x equals 2. So x is 2 here, it's 5. Okay, what is the solution set of h of x equals 3? So remember, this is saying y equals 3. Well, when y is 3, it's twice, so -2 and 1. So solution set means I put it in brackets, so it's -2, 1. Now it says, what is the solution set of h of x is greater than or equal to 3? We don't really have to worry about these, so we're going to cross it off. Okay, let's look at 10 and 11. Okay, so doing these by hand is a lot of work, but doing it in the calculator is a lot of steps. So I'll show you both. Sorry, I'm closing all my pens. So here, to do it by hand, we're going to solve for x. So I need to get rid of the stuff that's outside of the bars. So plus 2, and that gives me 3, 4x minus 5 equals 21. Divide by 3, divide by 3. That gives me 4x minus 5 equals 7. Now, these are not parentheses, sorry. We are going to separate. Remember, to get rid of the bars, I have to put a plus and minus in front of my 7. So we have, I'm going to come do it over here. 4x minus 5 equals positive 7, and 4x minus 5 equals negative 7. And we're going to solve those for x. So plus 5, 4x equals 7 plus 5, which is 12. Okay, divide by 4, x equals 3. There's one of my solutions. Okay, and then plus 5, 4x equals negative 2. Divide by 4, gives me x equals negative 0.5. So negative 0.5 and 3. So you can really do this however you want. 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. So negative 0.5 is right here, and 3 is right here. When it's equals, it's just single dots. Now, here is where it's different. Remember, less than. Less than. Okay. So, and, if you remember this, less than, greater. Okay, greater was when they went side to side. So less than is when there's something like this or something like this. Greater is when it was something like this or something like this. Okay, so this is the difference. This is less than, so we're just going to solve for our two numbers, which, guys, you can do in the calculator. So now I'm going to show you this one in the calculator. So I'm going to do math, oops, sorry, not alpha. Math right, enter, x plus 2, that's one side, y1, y2, and we're going to find where y1 and y2 match. So we match here at negative 7, and then we match again here at 3. I want you to realize this has to be smallest to greatest. X goes in the middle, and it's less than. Okay? So this is just saying these are going to be open dots. Everything from negative 7 to 3 is a solution because it's less than. Okay? Now, I want you to realize you could also write this negative 7 comma 3 with parentheses. Okay? Because it doesn't actually touch negative 7 and it doesn't actually touch 3. Okay, so these are different. Again, we can do these in the calculator. X plus 3 equals 4. Second graph. So here we have one at 1 and again at negative 7. So negative 7 and 1. Now this is not a less than or greater than or equal to, so we're just going to put a point at a closed dot at negative 7 and a closed dot at 1. I'm just guessing. This is not proper numerical or whatever, anything like that. Now here we have x minus 3 equals 4. So I want you to realize I see one of them. Let's see if we see another one. And there's the other one. So it's at negative 1 and 7. Which, what do you notice, is the opposites. Okay, negative 1 and 7. Now it says, what is the distance of each solution from the number -3? So I guess I should have done this proper. Oh, it's just going to be distance of -7 and 1. Oh, from the number -3. I should have done this right, huh? Negative, negative, negative. So it says, what is the distance of each solution from the -3? It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's what this number is telling you. Remember, absolute value means the distance from x. So this is also 4. Okay, remember, whatever it equals when the absolute value bars are by themselves is the distance from the opposite of this number. Okay, because remember, inside is opposite. So it's just this. Okay. A function g of x is represented on the graph below, along with the line y equals 2. What is the value of g of 4? Remember, this is when x is 4. X is 4 here, which is -7. Then it says, what about when y equals 2? That's what's graphed. Okay, this is y equals 2. So the solution set is at 1 and 7. Now remember, we don't have to worry about these. Now what is the domain in set notation? So this domain-wise is from -infinity to infinity. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. So what is the domain in set notation? So domain is from left to right. So I want you to realize that this is just all real numbers. Okay. Remember, you can do the fancy R. Okay. What is the range in set notation? That's your height. So I want you to realize the lowest point is -7, and it's y, and it goes forever, so it's y is greater than or equal to -7. Okay, because it's everything above -7. Okay. Number 13. Identify the following graph. So let's go ahead and graph it. Okay, and it says, which direction does this parabola open? Guys, let's graph it and look. So it opens upward. Again, we could have known just by looking that A is positive. What is the vertex of this parabola? Well, let's find our rainbow. So there's my rainbow. Vertex is in the middle, -5, -2. How else could you find the vertex? I mean, graph, table, however, whatever is easiest for you. Now, does this have a maximum or a minimum? This has a minimum because it opens upward. Okay. What is the equation for the axis of symmetry? Remember, axis of symmetry is the x of your vertex. X equals -5. Okay. What is the y-intercept? So remember, y-intercept is where x equals 0. So let's go to our table. This way. X is 0 at 23. So this is 0, 23. Domain in set notation, so that's with fancy brackets. So domain of this is going to be all real numbers. Okay, and the range, the lowest this goes is -2. So it's y is greater than or equal to -2. So sketch the graph of the parabola. Well, this is +3. The opposite of +3 is -3. And then opposite of -4 is +4. So again, guys, these can be calculator problems. x plus 3, x minus 4, second graph, oh, just graph, sorry. So it looks like this. Okay, again, let's try this one. Negative x minus 5, x plus 2, hit graph. So this is going to do opposite of positive 2 is negative 2, which where it shows us. Opposite of negative 5 is positive 5, and it's going to open downward. Okay, and then this last one, let's see what that looks like. So if I set this equal to 0, be 0. Set this equal to 0, be 7. Okay, and it's going to look something like this, where it goes way down. So it's 0 and 7. Alright, this graph opens up. Zeros are x-intercepts. Remember, it's just the opposite, so it's going to be negative 5 and positive 7. Again, you could type this in your calculator and look for where y equals 0, x minus 7, x plus 5. Graph, we see that it opens upwards because this is where it comes together. Okay, and then we could come here and look, negative 5, we're looking for where y is 0, and 7, which is what we put. Okay, now on this one, this is negative, so it opens down. Again, you could type this in your calculator. And I want you to remember, when it's in standard form, this is your y-intercept. So 0, 30. And again, we could check our work. Negative x squared plus x plus 30, second graph. At 0, it's 30, which is my y-intercept, because remember, that's where x equals 0. If I hit graph, it's open downwards, okay? Let's do this one. X plus 2 squared plus 6. If I hit graph, it's open up. My vertex, second graph, we can find our rainbow. Here's my rainbow. It's negative 2, 6. And if you look at the graph, it's open upward, so this is a minimum. Oh, sorry. Domain, well, this is never going to quit getting wider, so inset notation, that's just all real numbers. And your range is going to be y is greater than or equal to 6. Okay. Now on this one, it wants to know our axis of symmetry. So let's type this one, negative 2x squared plus 8x minus 3. Now remember, x of your vertex is your axis of symmetry. So let's find our rainbow. Our vertex is 2, 5. Right? That's, yeah, 2, 5. So it's x equals 2. Number 16. Okay, again, it wants us to find the equation. We're going to use stat. This is kind of like number 2. So 10, 8, 13, 9, 11, 14, 6, 12, 7, 5, 9.14, 8.14, 0.74. Oop. Okay, and we're going to do stat right. So it says use regression to find the equation of this quadratic data. So we have to do quad reg. Make sure you read carefully. Okay, this is round to the nearest hundredth. So that's 2 points after the decimal. So y equals negative 0.13x squared plus 2.79x minus 6.01. There you go. Okay, number 17 says write a quadratic equation in both factored form and standard form that is equivalent to these. So to put it in standard form, we have to move these over. So I'm going to add x squared, and subtract 2, subtract 2. Remember, they're putting them with their like terms. So this is giving me 2x squared. This had no like term, so I'm going to bring it down. And negative 13 minus 2 is negative 15. So there's my standard form. Now my factored form, I don't know why I wrote one lowercase, one uppercase, is going to be a little different. I'm going to show you the easy way to do it. So let's put this in our calculator. 2x squared minus 7x minus 15, second graph. I know one of my solutions is 5. Let's find our other one. So I can't see it. It's going to be somewhere between negative 6 and 7 because 0 lands there. So let's hit graph. Now, if this was multiple choice, we would definitely be able to figure this out just using y1 and y2. So I'll show you how to check your work like that in just a second. So you can do second trace and do 5, enter, enter, enter. Oop. Oh, sorry, I forgot to put this in y2. I had to put 0 in y2. Now do graph, second trace 5, enter, enter, enter. So it's negative 1.5, which as a fraction, negative 1.5, math, enter, enter, is negative 3 over 2. So remember, factored form, what's the opposite of 5? X minus 5. And then remember, the 2 goes next to your x. What's the opposite of negative 3? Positive 3. So we can check our work by typing that y1, this in y2. X minus 5, 2x plus 3. They match, so that is correct. So let's try this one. So plus 2x squared plus 2x squared minus x minus 40 minus 40. So that gives me 3x squared minus 8x minus 35 equals 0. There's my standard form. So let's type that in. 3x squared minus 8x is 35. And we'll go ahead and put 0 here. Let's find our table, see if they match. So we know there's going to be a match somewhere between here and here's one at 5. So again, 5. Now let's go find the other one. So graph, second trace 5. To get intersect to work, you have to type y1 and y2. So it's negative 2.33333. So let's see what that is of fraction. Negative 2.3333333. Go all the way across the screen when it's repeating. Math, enter, enter. It's negative 7 over 3. Okay, so again, factored form would be opposite of 5, x minus 5, and then the 3 goes next to my x. What's the opposite of negative 7? Positive 7. So let's try this, see if it works. X minus 5, 3x plus 7. And they match, so there's my answer. Okay, number 18, it says determine the following information about this graph. So what is the value of f of 2? So this is where x equals 2. X is 2 here, which is at a height of 1. Zeros is just another word for x-intercepts. So we'll say like 2.2. It's a little after 2 and a little before 6. So we'll say 5.8. The vertex is at 4, negative 3. Axis of symmetry is x equals 4, because remember it's the x of your vertex. Now to write this equation in vertex form, this is vertex form. Okay, remember you can use your vertex. Okay, and to know what A is, see how the next pretty point's here? It went up 1 over 1 from my vertex, so it's just 1. So y equals 1, x minus, well, what is my vertex? It's 4 is x. Opposite of positive 4 is negative 4, so it's subtracting. And then exact on the outside, so minus 3. And you could check your work. You could type this in y1, this in y2, and see if everything in your table matches. We don't need to do this one. So it says when y equals 1, that's here, y equals 1 here, that touches here at 1, and here again at 6. What is the domain and range in set notation? It's all real numbers because it's going to get wider forever for our domain. And range is, it's everything greater than -3. So y is greater than or equal to -3. Number 19 wants us to solve by factoring. 19 is 40.38. I want you to realize that you can technically do these in your calculator. Let's look. y1, y2. Remember, this test is multiple choice. 2x squared plus 20x negative 50. And we're going to see where everything matches. So we see here, if you notice, that's my vertex. So 48, 48, 42, 42, 32, 32. So my answer is just x equals -5. Because it'll only match one time since that's my vertex of y1. Okay, now on this one, we can do this one as well. This side on y1, this side on y2. We look for where they match. Here it matches at -6. And again at +6. Solve using quadratic formula. Again, guys, you can use your calculator. 2x, x plus 1. Looking for where they match at 40. And at -5. Oh, sorry, not at 40. -5 and 4. We type that in y1, that in y2. So let's try this one. X squared minus 4x. So remember this on y1, this on y2. So if you look, let's hit graph. So this one's actually imaginary, which means we have to do it, okay? So let's +7, +7. We get a equals 1, b equals -4, c equals 7. So we have negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4 times a times c, all over 2a. So a is 1, c is 7, b is -4, b is -4. So that gives me +4 plus or minus 2 over 1, which is 2. Let's type just the inside of the house. -4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 7. That gives me square root of -12. Take out the negative. Can 12 simplify? 12 is 2 and 6, which is 2 and 3. 3. This matches. Your match goes on the outside, so this gives me 4 plus or minus 2 square root of 3, 2i, over 2. And this can simplify. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So there's my answer. Okay. So 21, solve using the square root method. So 21, we would do add 8 to both sides. 28 plus 8 is 36. So we get x squared equals 36 square root. That gives you x equals plus and -6. Now again, these can be done in the calculator. y1, x squared minus 8, and then 28, second graph. We are looking for where they match. They match at -6, and again at +6, which is what I got. Okay, so -6, 6. Let's try this one in the calculator. x squared plus 2x plus 2, 0, second graph. So if we hit graph, this one's imaginary, so we definitely have to do it. So this is going to be, we have to complete the square. So we're going to do minus 2, minus 2. We do not have enough room for this. I'm going to do it on a sticky note. So I subtracted 2 here. Those canceled. And I get x squared plus 2x plus something equals negative 2. Remember what I do on one side, I have to do on the other. So we take our middle term divided by 2, and that equals 1, and we square it. So this ends up being 1. And that gives me x plus 1 squared, because remember it's just this number that goes there, equals, we added 1 there, we add 1 here, so negative 1. And so now we can take the square root of both sides. So we have x plus 1 squared equals negative 1, square root. This cancels that. And I get x plus 1 equals, well, this has to come out as I, and it ends up being 1i. So we have to do, plus or minus 1i. Minus 1, minus 1. X equals negative 1 plus or minus 1i. So we'll say negative 1 plus I, negative 1, not comma, minus I. That shouldn't be a comma. Okay. Somebody left this in my room today. I'm obviously not very good at using it. Okay. So then last but not least, let's see if we can do this one in the calculator. X squared plus 8x, 9. So here's one solution at 1, and the other solution at 9. Negative 9. So there we go. Got it in the calculator. This is after practice one day, Richard kicks the football from the top of the upper deck that is 80 feet high. The height of the football is h of t is determined by the function h of t equals negative 16t squared plus 64t plus 80, where t is the number of seconds elapsed since the football was kicked. The graph shows the flight of the ball. What is a reasonable domain? Okay, set notation. So that goes from 0 all the way to 5. Okay, I want you to realize that it's x, domain is x, that's why there's an x, and it's always going to be less than or equal to symbols if it touches, which it does touch at 0 here and here 5, okay, and if you do less than or greater than. What is a reasonable range? Well, height-wise, it's going to go from 0 all the way to like what? We'll say 142. Okay, what is the maximum height of the ball will go? We'll say 142. How long would it take for the ball to hit the ground? So it's going to take 5 seconds. And guys, since we were given the equation, we can actually check the height. So let's do negative 16x squared plus 64x plus 80. Second graph. We're looking for the vertex. Oops, so it's right here. It actually goes to 144. Okay. So remember, I realized we were given the equation and we can find 128, 128, 80, 80. So the middle is my vertex, which is also my maximum. Okay. 23 we don't need to do. 24 we don't need to do. Last but not least, 25, it says simplify the expression. So remember, when we simplify these, we want to simplify one piece at a time. So let's do under the house. This is already simplified and this is already simplified. So 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 12. 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 12. That gives negative 12, which gives me negative 6 plus or minus the square root of negative 12 over 2. We just did one like this. So 12, 2 and 6, 2 and 3, So this simplifies to 2 square root of 3, but we have to take out that, so it's actually 2i square root of 3. So negative 6 plus or minus 2i square root of 3 over 2. They can simplify. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So plus or minus 1i square root 3. Which you can also separate and get negative 3 plus I square root 3, negative 3 minus I square root 3. Because the 1 doesn't need to be there, because we know that's at least 1i. Okay? All right. This is the very end. If you have any questions, bring them to me in class. Good luck on your test.